Wasabi everybody, coming back at you all with another top 10 Commander video, and I'm gonna say it again, this set was not very impressive. Very difficult to find 10 cards that I actually liked, and some people might be going, hey, Commander Void, why are you so critical of this set? It hasn't even come out yet. Well, because I have the ability to use my brain and actually figure out how certain cards are going to interact before I actually get to play with them. And that's because you just compare and contrast with similar abilities that already exist. I don't really understand what's so difficult about that for some people, but whenever you find a critical video about a Commander product or any Magic the Gathering product, it's not just me looking to complain about anything just to get views. It's called standards. I think since Wizards of the Coast, they've provided us with some of the best products ever. When it comes to Commander, they need to try to reach that again. They need to stay consistent with the products that they're giving us. And Commander 2020 was so-so. Commander 2021 is very disappointing. So number 10 here we have Oscar the Reconstructor. This guy's, again, so-so. Very difficult to find 10 cards here that I actually liked. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even really want to play with most of these commanders. There may be like 2 or 3 that I even care about. Maybe even not to make an actual deck, but Oscar, you have a cool ability where you can exile an artifact from your graveyard, and you get to create 2 token copies of that artifact, and that's pretty much it. That's what he's good for. So you can make a Boros artifact deck where you get 2 copies of an artifact in your graveyard. You can only do that at sorcery speed, but it's alright. I mean, this is what we're dealing with here. Hey, cool, you get 2 copies. You get 2 copies. That's just something to blow your mind. And then number 9, we have Cursed Mirror. I might be mistaken, but this is probably the only red card that it enters as a copy of a creature. We have a lot of red cards that can make token copies of creatures, but we don't really have one that enters as a copy. So for 3 mana, I think that's well worth it. It also gives a creature haste until end of turn. It doesn't remain as that creature, but I still think for that ability for 3 mana, in red, that's actually pretty cool. And of course, it can tap for red mana if you don't need that creature anymore. So that's always a nice thing, you get a good mana rock. I think it's alright, I think it belongs in some red decks if that's what you're looking for. And then we go on to number 8, we have Monologue Tax. Now, some people were talking about this potentially being another Smothering Tithe, and I can see that, but if you have opponents that want to go off, they're going to pretty much cast their second spell every one of their turns. So you're going to get your treasure tokens, and it's not really like a tax, it doesn't make them pay mana in order to stop you from getting them. But to me, it's another good card if you're looking for more mana in white, especially mono white. Mana production isn't quite white's strong suit. Wish this was card draw, that would be pretty crazy if there was a way for you to get card draw off of a white enchantment like this. But for now, I guess it's just a poor man's Smothering Tithe, which is not terrible. And then number 7, we have Adrex and Nev Twin Casters, really just here because it's parallel lives on a commander. That's it. So if you're in green and blue and you want to take advantage of creating so many different tokens, creating twice those tokens, go for it. Ward is a new ability introduced in Strixhaven, but it's probably the most boring ability because it just makes all the spells that would target them cost 2 more. So it's not like some brand new cool synergy in these colors, it's just what you would already expect, maybe slightly different. But yeah, I mean, no doubt, if you can create double the tokens, it's going to be a powerful commander option. And then number 6, we have Keen Duelist. Now, Keen Duelist, I think is going to catch a lot of people's attention because Wizards of the Coast and the Commander format, they've been wanting to create more political versions of already powerful cards. We saw that with Wheel of Misfortune, and now it looks like Keen Duelist is pretty much going to be the new Dark Confidant. Nowhere near as good, of course. If you're going to play competitively, there's no reason for you to not want Dark Confidant over this. More casually, I would say Keen Duelist is a more political card, definitely more useful in those strategies. It's also a little bit different because instead of just, well, giving your opponent the same kind of card advantage, they have to lose a life equal to the card that you reveal, and you lose a life equal to the card that they reveal, so you have to kind of pay attention who's playing what, who's more likely to have big spells, and then be more political according to how little life you can lose. I definitely think it's going to be sought after. I just don't know how competitive it's going to be. And then number 5, we have Ink Shield. If you're a fan of Arachnogenesis, this is like that, but better. It's not going to be a fog where you can protect everyone at the table, where if you want to be political, you can protect an opponent from getting killed, that kind of fog. If you would be dealt damage, you instead create that many 2/1 Inkling creature tokens with flying for each 1 damage prevented. It makes it so easy for you to then swing back and likely kill them with all those tokens. It's going to be useful in token strategies in black and white that already exist, all this really does is just give you usefulness outside of creating tokens. So you get a good protection spell here that will also help you create tokens. And then number 4, we have Veyron, Voice of Duality. Probably one of the more powerful commander options in this whole set. Kinda doing the whole Panharmonicon trick where you get double triggers off of a permanent. So if you're playing something like a Gutter Snipe, this is the card for you, this is the commander for you. You're gonna get double Gutter Snipe triggers, and it's gonna fit in well with the format because that's what people want to do anyway. They want to speed up their deck, they want to get double, kind of like Adrix and Nev. It's no secret why this is going to be a powerful commander option. Just again, with a lot of these, wish there was more involvement there. But I guess it's good for what we got here. And then number 3, we have Guardian Augmenter. With Flash, I think this is going to be a staple in green. I know I say something's going to be a staple a lot, but Guardian Augmenter, it's very similar to that white creature that we got all the way back in Commander 2014, where it made your commander indestructible and it also gave them +2/+2. This is the green version of that, and it's even better. So giving a creature hexproof and +2/+2 if it's your commander means that you don't have to play as many things like Lightning Greaves and green decks. You have something that's arguably better here because you get it on a creature, and protection spells are becoming more and more important as this format becomes more competitive. It's just a no-brainer. You're going to come up against a lot of removal, and hexproof is one of the best ways that you can defend against removal. And then number 2, we have Felisa Fang Silverquill. Again, not a super creative commander option other than getting you those Inkling tokens that we haven't really had before Strixhaven. But Felisa again is just in here because it's a powerful commander option. You're going to get more tokens off of creatures dying with +1/+1 counters, and the fact that they're 2/1 flying tokens means that you have a decent combat strategy here as well. Also, Vampire Tribal is an option, a lot of vampires that focus on +1/+1 counters, so you can go that route as well. I in fact already just made a commander deck like that, but yeah, again, we have some powerful commander options in here, and Felisa is no doubt going to be easy to combo with because of that trigger. There's a ton of +1/+1 counter, 2-card combos, 2-card infinites that are going to love Felisa for that trigger, but it's another example of a commander option that I'm kind of like, yeah, kind of been there, done that before. So before I go into number 1, let's talk about some honorable mentions. I do like Guillaume Master Chef, it's not exactly something that does anything brand new. I mean, we had cards from Throne of Eldraine that tried to make food interesting in Commander, but it's just you sacrifice a food to make a creature indestructible. It's almost like a regeneration ability. That's it. There's really nothing else going on here with Guillaume. Alabu, Ancient Witness, is slightly more interesting. You do give your artifact creatures haste, so that's probably one of the more unique options, especially if you're just looking at the Lorehold deck, and you also get an attack trigger that can deal damage to any target. And then we have Zephe, Thunder Conductor. I think overall, if you need something that will trigger whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, Zephe is probably the most interesting. You get to scry one, or you get 4/4 blue and red elemental creature tokens, or you get to deal 10 damage to an opponent chosen at random. So a little bit more interesting, but again, there wasn't anything there that just screamed out to me, oh, you gotta go back to Spellslinger again. You gotta play more instants and sorceries. And we do have Ruxa, Patient Professor. I've said this before, I've even made a deck around Ruxa. One of the more interesting, but outside of just the unusual commander options here, the mechanics either range from this kind of weird to just generic and stuff we've already seen before. There's nothing powerful that just gets the creative juices flowing, you know what I mean? Except for some of these weirder commander options, which are just going to be fun commanders, but maybe not something that you can play with long term, because the strategy is pretty simple, it's pretty linear. So number 1, we have Essex Fractal Bloom. I think Essex is probably the most powerful commander option in this whole set, because you're just creating token copies of whatever the heck you want to copy. Because it's different than Brutaclad, where Brutaclad was powerful because you could just change all of your tokens into just being copies of one token. This is powerful because you can be selective, so it's literally just the best creature out there, other than Essex of course, because that would combo. Green and blue I wouldn't say is the easiest to get creature tokens. It's not like white, but it's still going to be pretty easy. We have a lot of things like Avenger of Zendikar that are going to net you a ton of tokens, especially if Essex is 6 mana, that's immediately after you play your commander. We also have Adrix and Nev, so that's going to be in the same deck. You can get double the creature tokens, that's just ridiculously powerful. So it's going to be the most powerful commander option in this set, in my own opinion of course. It could be your opponent's creatures, it can be your own, doesn't really seem to matter. So anyway, let me know what you think about Commander 2021. I know I've been hard on it, but I've just played with some really good Commander products over the years, and this one just doesn't really do anything for me. Mechanically, it's all over the place, there's not really any powerful theme here. The keywords that are introduced are actually pretty lackluster, and I think we need to be honest about that. But anyway, hope you all have a wonderful day. Void here signing off. See you all next time.